everyone, welcome back to Best Life and Beyond. As promised, finally, I am going to do another cooking video. Actually, technically this is a baking video. Now, sadly, I can't take credit for actually creating this recipe, but this is a classic oatmeal cookie recipe that I've been using for at least a decade. I found it on the internet so long ago, and I've been using it ever since. It's great because it's customizable. You can add walnuts, you can add raisins. I've not yet added chocolate chips, but I think I might try and do that with half of the batter today. So the first thing I would tell you to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees. However, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is make the batter, and then I will refrigerate it, and while it's refrigerating, that is when I will preheat my oven to 350 degrees. It tends to not flatten out as much if the batter is refrigerated. So that being said, that's what I'll be doing, and get ready because we're gonna bake some cookies. The thing I love best about this recipe is that it is really, really simple, easy to get ingredients. I don't think it has anything like complicated. It doesn't have any like really complicated steps. And like I said, it is customizable. So that being said, let's go over what you need in order to bake these oatmeal cookies. Here's everything you're going to need. You're going to need shortening. I always get the sticks. I think it's easier just to have them already like measured out, but if you want to, of course, just use a regular cup and a tub of shortening, that's fine. Now, don't be afraid because I had never used shortening before for baking. I always used butter. And I was like, oh, I don't know how good this is gonna be, but let me tell you, it's perfect. So the sticks are what I get, and it usually comes with 3 in a pack. You're gonna need white sugar, salt, vanilla extract, baking soda, all-purpose flour, some cinnamon, some ground cinnamon, I should say, 2 eggs, and some brown sugar. Now, of course, you're going to need some old-fashioned oats. Do not get the instant oats. This is the most important thing, is just to remember to get the old-fashioned oats. Those are key. If not, they just will not turn out. I haven't personally done it, but I've heard horror stories of people doing that. So just make sure you get some old-fashioned oats. You're gonna need about 3 cups. And of course, you're gonna see me using this very old, ancient KitchenAid. This was my mom's many, many years ago, and I have been using it ever since. She's a classic. Someday I'll get a new one, but for some reason I just like having my mom's old one. Now, you don't have to use a KitchenAid. You can certainly use a whisk and do it yourself. I've done it when I didn't have my KitchenAid on hand, or I just didn't feel like lugging it out. So just remember, you don't have to use a KitchenAid, but if you do, it makes life a lot easier. Okay, the first thing we are going to start off doing is we're going to cream the sugars and the shortening. So you need 1 cup, aka 1 stick of shortening. We're gonna put that in there. Then 1 cup of brown sugar and 1 cup of the white sugar. See, I love how it's just 1 stick and you just plop it in. Boom. Now you, of course, keep this in your pantry so it's room temperature. You wouldn't want it cold because you want to kind of cream these together to make like a nice little whip of sorts. So let's measure our brown sugar. So you're gonna need 1 cup of brown sugar and 1 cup of white sugar, 1 cup of shortening. See how easy that is? It's like the easiest recipe ever. So when I found this recipe, it didn't say if the brown sugar should be packed or if it should just be heaping. I didn't know. So what I've always done is I've always packed the brown sugar. I feel like it's never made a huge difference, but maybe if anything with the sweetness. So again, I just pack the brown sugar, just 1 cup. It doesn't matter either too if you use light brown sugar or dark brown sugar. They kind of all taste, it always tastes delicious to me. So right now today I'm using dark brown sugar just because that's what I have, and into the bowl it goes. You like how I cut my box of sugar open like a savage beast? It's pretty sad. Okay, you want to make this eye level. This is really hard to do with 1 hand. But there we go. Tatum, look at this beautiful cutting board you got me, and I just wreck it with sugar. And now it's time for the best part. If you're a fan of KitchenAid as much as I am, we're gonna turn this on a low speed. Gonna get that going. And while that's starting to kind of come together, we're going to crack 2 eggs into a separate bowl, beat them, then put it in. Now, you don't always have to beat them to put them in. I just kind of do that because I think a long time ago I got a bad egg, and so now I'm kind of paranoid about it. But then once that's gone for a little bit, then we will put in a tablespoon of vanilla extract. So let's crack these eggs. By the way, this is not very easy to do without your other hand, but we're doing the best we can. All right, that's beaten enough. Our eggs are good. Let's add them in. Now we're going to add 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. I always get this one from Trader Joe's. I like it a lot. You could also use the vanilla bean paste, but I just like this one and I always use it, so let's get it in there. I always find this so fun to watch. I probably shouldn't even watch it this long, but something about it is like so satisfying to me. Okay, let's turn her off. While that's hanging out over there, we're going to put our dry ingredients together. We're going to use 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and then we're going to do a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of salt, and a tablespoon of cinnamon, ground cinnamon. This one of you guys sent to us and I love it, so thank you for whoever sent that. I don't remember your name right off the top of my head, but I love it. I had to put the oven light on here because there's such bad lighting in this kitchen, I have since discovered, so something I have to work on. But let's get our dry ingredients together, and we're gonna whisk them together so you don't need to sift your flour. You know, of course, if it's like really lumpy or something, then for sure I would, but we're gonna just put it in, and I've never had an issue yet. Okay, again, forgive the lighting. It's not the best in here. So we're gonna get 1 cup of flour, and then I always make sure to level it off. That'll be good. I always make such a mess when I have anything that has to do with flour. It's honestly a disaster. 1.5 cups. Okay, and next a teaspoon of salt. And a teaspoon of baking powder. And let's whisk that together. Then we'll add our cinnamon. And right here I got a tablespoon of cinnamon. And we'll whisk this some more with the other non-dominant hand and try not to make a disaster. You just want to combine this until it's like a kind of an off-white sandy caramel color. That's perfect. And now the fun part, we're going to add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. So let's turn, whoa, you don't want it going too fast because you will get flour everywhere. I always do little by little, and it works for me, so that's what we're gonna do here today. The good part about this lovely thing is it has a pour spout on it. So let's just add a little bit at a time. Probably like add it in thirds almost. This is also really satisfying to watch. Oh, it smells like cinnamon and vanilla. You might hear Spencer in the background opening the refrigerator. Would you like to say hi, Spencer?
Hi, Spencer.
He says hi. Okay, and we'll add the rest of it. I'm gonna have to set the camera down for this because, oh, never mind. I did it. Just goes to show, if you put your brain to it, you can achieve anything. So once that is combined, we will add 3 cups of oats. We're not gonna do it with the mixer. That is never a good thing. And I always add about a tablespoon or half a tablespoon of water, and it just kind of helps. I didn't do that for a long time, but now I do, and it's amazing. So let's do it. So I took our batter off of the KitchenAid, and I kind of, scraped the bottom, made sure everything is like well incorporated. Now, what I tend to do with my old-fashioned oats is I measure the 3 cups in a separate bowl. For some reason, I don't know how I do it, but sometimes I've gotten off count before, so I find it better if I screw up. It's all just in one bowl and it's a little bit easier. So let's get our 3 cups of oats. Just remember to use old-fashioned. You definitely don't want to use the instant. It is never a good thing. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have just barely enough. Oh boy. Now that we have all of our oats ready to go, we are just gonna mix them by hand. I always use this little baby. I think it just mixes it easier. I don't know, it just kind of like folds them in. I try not to like crush them up too much because I kind of like the oats to stay and like in big chunks, and it just makes for a better cookie in general. So let's mix it in. I also do this in like batches, like I'll do it per cup. So I do it like in, I guess, stages of 3, you would say. Just like that. And then towards the end, it really does get kind of, it gets kind of difficult to mix them in, but you just gotta get the arm work out and go for it. I'm just showing you using just the oats, and I'm not adding anything in, but I know if you want to add stuff, if you want to add like raisins or walnuts or something, you certainly can do that. And we're gonna basically put it in the refrigerator. The longer you put it in the refrigerator, the better, obviously. But I don't have too much time today because I actually have to edit this. So we're gonna probably just put it in the fridge for about an hour. Okay, I had a change of plans. I found these chocolate chunks and I looked at the batter and I realized I made plain ones the other day. So we're gonna just add about a cup or so of some semi-sweet chocolate chunks from Trader Joe's. We'll just see what happens. I feel like it'll be good. Can you really ever go wrong with chocolate? I don't think so. Here's 1 cup of chocolate chunks. Just wanted to give you guys an update. I'm adding another half cup just because I started mixing in the whole cup. Just kind of looked like it needed more. You kind of have to just make sure the ratio is right. You want to make sure that there is chocolate and an even amount of chocolate in just about every cookie. So when I looked at it, I'm like, you know what? We just need another half a cup. So 1.5 cups of the chocolate chunk. Again, you don't have to do this. These are amazing by themselves, but I was just feeling like it, especially since I just made the plain chocolate the other day. Just now preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and I spread it all out in this kind of container, I guess. It just makes it easier to scoop and put on the cookie sheet. So we're gonna put saran wrap over it and put it in the fridge for at least an hour. I wish I could do longer, but I don't have too much time today. The longer the better. Even overnight is honestly the best thing to do, but that's what we're gonna do today. Stick her in the oven and let them get set up and cool, and oh, these are gonna be good. Okay, it's been about an hour. I actually got smart and I froze my cookie dough. So I just got it out of the freezer and I have laid out 2 baking cookie sheets, I guess you could say. I covered them with parchment paper and we are going to scoop it out and get them in the oven. There's our cookie dough. It is nice. I like this. I think freezing was the best method. I see you learn things. So now I got my favorite thing to make cookies with. Just to give you a size, like, you know, reference, this is about the size of my thumb. So I want to say these are about tablespoons full, if I'm not mistaken. But we are going to scoop those out and put them on there. These from Reynolds Kitchens are so great, by the way. They show you like the spaces, not that I really use them, but they're already, you know, cut for you. It's perfect. So I'm gonna start scooping. Okay, I had to get a light to help with this. So if you notice the shadow, it's because it's so much darker in my kitchen than I thought it would be. Anyway, so this makes, by the way, I still have half a bowl of batter left. So each one of these sheets is about 12 cookies. This will make about 4 dozen cookies. It makes a ton, but the batter freezes well. I've done that before. I usually just honestly bake them, and I always find people to give them to. Okay, so we're gonna pop these in the oven for about 9 to 12 minutes, depending on how, you know, if you like them super, you know, crunchy, I would probably go a little closer to 12. Just keep an eye on them, but usually, honestly, I usually do about 10 to 11 minutes. It really just depends, but just keep an eye on them around 10 minutes especially. Okay, we'll see you soon, cookies. Okay, these babies have been in the oven for about 12 minutes. I kind of let them go a little bit longer today, and I'm not mad at it. They are perfectly kind of golden brown. Let me turn on the kitchen light here. Ooh, they look so bad without the light on them. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, these smell amazing. So we're gonna let these cool for just a couple minutes, like probably about 2 minutes, and then we are going to let them further cool on some wire racks. Now that they have kind of cooled just for like a minute or two, we're gonna put them on those wire racks to further cool completely. But oh my gosh, these smell so good. I think the chocolate was the best addition I've done yet, and I don't know why it's taken me like years to figure out to add chocolate, but here we are. So now this batch, I'm really excited. The reason I was partially also motivated to add chocolate to them was because at some point Liz had come over to our house and I made a different type of oatmeal chocolate chip cookies, and they were Liz's favorite. So I thought it'd be fun to, you know, do something that she really liked, especially with this recipe, because this is like my tried and true favorite classic recipe. My family loves it. It has been their favorite for so long. And the recipe, the reason it caught my eye is because it was floating around on a website that somebody had found a recipe that her grandma had used back in like the 1800s or something like that. So it kind of appealed to me, and then of course the simplicity of it. And turns out it's been the best. It's just classic, delicious. Trust me, it's a simple cookie, but it is so good. Just cooling off. This is the hardest part. Shall we break one open though and just see the chocolate overflowing? Because Spencer's not here. He went with Adam. somewhere, so I think we're just gonna have to enjoy these ourselves. At least a few of them. The rest are going to Liz. Okay. Oh, look at that chocolate chunk on the inside. Let's try this cookie and see how it tastes with the chocolate. Oh my gosh. That chocolate chunk, the best addition ever. These are so good by themselves, but let me just tell you, with the chocolate, I need to eat another one. I mean, I need to eat the other piece. Sometimes I only eat just like a little piece and save it, but this is crazy good. I'm gonna package these up once they cool completely and bring them over to Liz. So good. Okay, now that I'm done pigging out, I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. If you do make them, let me know how they come out for you. And if you want to see more recipe videos from me, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And we'll see you next time on Best Life and Beyond. Bye bye, everybody.